Hi, I'm Alan from Crashtest Security, and in this video, I will show you how to prevent SQL injection attacks. So let's get started. Preventing SQLi attacks is a complex and rigorous process. Prevention techniques vary according to the programming language, the SQL database engine, and the SQL subtype being addressed. This section explores the tools and best practices to prevent SQL injection vulnerabilities. These are some strategic principles and practices to keep web applications safe from SQLi attacks. Regular scanning. Attackers inject malicious input via vulnerabilities they discover in the system code. Therefore, security teams should undertake a SQL injection scanner. Using the right tools is relevant to find any possible SQLi vulnerabilities before attackers can take advantage of them. Training and awareness. Everyone involved in developing and managing the application should understand the risk and impacts of SQL injections. Training should also be extended to users to understand why it is essential only to include valid inputs when prompted. Filter user input. A database administrator should never trust user input. Internal and public user inputs should be filtered and validated before being exposed to the database server. Use whitelist-based filters. Attackers will constantly develop clever methods to circumvent blacklists. Whitelisting prevents attacks using a list that only allows certain users to access the protected system. In addition, malicious payloads deployed by SQL injections cannot execute when they don't exist in the whitelist. Use updated web technologies. Software updates often include patches for discovered vulnerabilities. Hackers typically rely on these vulnerabilities to deploy malicious payloads. The latest patch versions of development environments and frameworks will meet compliance standards and keep the web application safe from exploits. Most software organizations try to stay ahead of hackers. To prevent SQL injection attacks, treat all user input as potentially malicious and follow some programming guidelines. Filter user input. For an attacker to successfully execute an SQL injection, he needs to plant some code run by the web application's database. Therefore, all user input should be validated first and limited to the required characters. For example, you may ask a user to input a username, password, and email address in a registration form. You can limit the allowed characters of these input fields to characters that do not interfere with the database. Database mappers. Most modern web frameworks provide some abstraction of database handling. For example, Laravel provides eloquent queries. Created objects are automatically converted and stored or retrieved from the database. Sanitize user input prepared statements. It may not always be possible to use a database mapper. In these cases, use prepared statements to create your SQL queries. These statements validate and sanitize the user-provided values and prevent SQL injections. Regular SQL vulnerability assessment scan is the first actionable remediation to keeping web applications safe from SQLi vulnerabilities. Crashtest Security is an end-to-end security testing suite that simplifies vulnerability scanning through quick security assessments, risk reduction, and rich vulnerability reports. In addition, Crashtest integrates with multiple layers of the development stack, thereby allowing teams to establish a continuous testing process and eliminate attack surfaces on APIs and web applications. The security platform also automates vulnerability scanning and seamlessly delivers security information on the web application, allowing development teams to focus on clean code. Crashtest Security offers a state-of-the-art automated vulnerability scanner that allows you to easily detect vulnerabilities, such as SQL injections, and take necessary precautions to prevent them. Do check it out. The trial is free. Also, subscribe to the Crashtest Security Channel to get more information about the most significant web security threats, their prevention, and how to use the Crashtest Security Suite. Thank you for listening, and see you in our next video.